Welcome to Feedback Friday number 13. Today's video, it's a little bit grainy because this is one that someone sent us through Facebook, because recently I asked for you to send in some videos and I can take a look at them. And I recently went live on Facebook doing an analysis of this video. So if you don't like our Facebook page at the moment, there's a link in the description below, and go and like that. That way you'll get notified every time I go live and do an analysis through Facebook Live. So with this swimmer, when the footage is grainy and when we don't have all of the angles, obviously we don't get a full idea of how someone's swimming, but you can still get a pretty good idea of what we want to work on. And the first thing that stands out here, if you look from this position, is body position. So head's at the right spot, hips are up near the surface, but you can see with the legs, they're dropping down a little bit low. That extra drag on top of the quads is going to add up, and it's going to make it hard to maintain a fast pace for a long time. So the number one thing we want to do when we swim is reduce drag. That's the first thing. And this is a classic case of just bending the knees a bit too much and not coming up straight enough in the up kick. So we want to try and use our glutes, our hammies, to bring the leg up straighter. So if we look here, all right, we want to be using the glutes, the hammies, bring the leg up a bit straighter so the heel will come up near the surface. And we don't want too much of a bend through our hips. So if I bring it back slightly there, all right, you can see here that position from here, we want to try and keep the hips, or that line through there, quite straight. Obviously you'll get a bit of bend through there on the down kick, but if it's too much and if it remains there the whole time, then that's where that extra drag comes from. So a few different ways to think about kicking. Number one, if you think about how a ballerina would stand, toes pointed on the tippy toes, they're standing up straight, the legs remain quite straight. That's the sort of position that we want. Now obviously there will be some knee bend, but just think about leaving the legs or keeping the legs a bit straighter as you're kicking there. The other thing that can help is imagine you're almost tucking your hips back, or kind of tucking your abs in. So you're sucking that all together. And it's almost like if you've done Pilates before and you're lying your back and you're aiming to flatten out your lower back. It's a similar sort of tilt with the hips. That can also just keep that position a little bit straighter through there. So that would be the first thing. Second thing that stands out is, like most people, if she works on her catch, so the catch is from here down to there. That's the catch in freestyle. And 95% of the people I work with can always improve on their catch, and that's where a lot of the improvement often comes from. So what we want to try and see with the catch is, we want to start in the position where the fingers are below the wrist is below the elbow. So not a bad position there, could probably reach out a little bit further. But as she moves through, you can see how the arm stays quite straight here. We actually want to see the elbow out to the side, the hand on the inside here, almost like the arms in a triangle position on the side. That's what we want to try and achieve through the catch. She starts this position pretty well. So here, all right, good. Then as the fingertips tip down, that's looking pretty good. But if we look from the front, and I'll just cut back to the right shot here. All right, if we look here, notice how the arm's quite straight. Same on this side, pulling through. As she's pulling through under the shoulder, that hand's out wider than the elbow, and the arm remains straight. Now, the reason we don't want to have the arms completely straight here is it's very hard to engage your lats as you're pulling through there. When you have the elbow out wider, fingers on the inside and fingertips pointing down, that's the power position in freestyle. That's when you can really stabilize the shoulder, you can engage the lats, and you can get so much propulsion, so much power from the pull through. So that would be the focus. And then the question goes, well, how do you go about doing that? There's a drill sequence that I'd normally take swimmers through. So in our Effortless Swimming membership, where I do this with people on an ongoing basis, there's a bit of a drill sequence that I'd have them go through every time that they warm up in the water. Because you don't need to be doing 3 sessions of all drills every week. The way I like to incorporate technical improvement or stroke development is to practice some drills, practice some exercises in your warm-up, then just go about the normal swim session. Because what that'll do is it'll set you up with the right awareness, the right feeling for your stroke and your technique in the warm-up, and then you want to maintain that as you go through your normal session. And obviously, as you get fatigued, as you get towards the end of the session, some of that stuff is going to fall apart. You're going to fatigue, you're not going to be able to hold the position as well. But over time, as you increase your strength and you get used to that new position and the new, those changes to your stroke, that's when the improvements will start to come. And it does take time. I mean, if you've watched any of these videos, we talk about it all the time, is it does take a number of weeks and months to make this stuff automatic. So it's not going to happen overnight. But if you continue to focus on the right things and you have that deliberate practice with your stroke on a regular basis, at least, minimum you should be getting in this 3 times a week, that's when the improvements start to come. So that's what I'd focus on, just based on seeing this video here. So if you haven't liked our Facebook page, go to facebook.com/effortlessswimming. Links in the description below, and that way you can see every time that I go live doing an analysis on the spot. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube page, because I add these on a weekly basis. So if you are looking to improve your swimming, then make sure you subscribe below. Thanks for watching.